Hello everyone and welcome back to France, where it is time for the E4 Championship to hold its final race of the weekend. It's going to be exciting and it's going to be a great watch like it was in race 2. And now, at the end of this day, it is time to find out how they all line up on the grid. Okay, so it is Gabriel Gomez starting on pole position next to Sebastian Weldon, who's in second place. K&B, Key Nakamura Bertas in third. Then it's Maximilian Popov for Van Amersfoort in P4. Alexander Bondarev is in fifth, and it's Alex Powell, the driver, who will go from P6 on the grid. In seventh, our amazing winner from yesterday, Reno Franco, and he's next to Zenuri Shi. And then it's Kabiran Arag in 9th, Anea Fraser in 10th, Andrea Kostic is in 11th, and Ari Bansel will go from 12th. It has not been the easiest weekend so far for Ari Bansel. Let's see if he can change that in this race. Dan Tarinci is in 13th, and then it's Alexander Savinkov in 14th, Luca Ricciano is in 15th, Tereshop is in P16, Bart Harrison in 17th, and he is going to find himself next to Guy Albag. Emily Cotti in 19th, then it's Alexander Ruta, then we have Camille next to Al Salati, we have Michelini in 23rd, Rodriguez is in 24th place for Van Amersfoort Racing, and those are your next few rows on the grid. And then, to end the grid, we have Ludovic Cabusso next to Peyton Resco, and then Bennett is next to Salim Hanna all the way down in 28th, and the final driver in position is Panzeri. He is in 29th. Well, in the commentary box, as it's been all weekend long, my name is Omi, delighted to be with you, and alongside me for this one is Wes. And Wes, well, I mean, you got quite unlucky yesterday with the karma of the two races that we've had. Let's see though if this one can make up for it.
Yeah, I had a quick look at race 2 from earlier this morning, and I was a little miffed because that, especially in the latter stages, was very interesting. Got to say, considering the crazy performance we've seen from K&B thus far in the Italian F4. He's slipping quite far down, isn't he? He's now 10 points behind Gabriel Gomez in the championship, and he's also behind who is it? Francot as well. So yeah, he really needs to get a wiggle on in this race. He's of course, this is the first time this weekend that he's not been starting from pole position. So he's already going to be in attack mode as opposed to defense. So yeah, a little bit of a different set of ingredients for this race. We'll have to wait and see how he can do with that.
It's going to be a very interesting exam question put to him now. Now, this is a race that has been delayed by 20 minutes. We've had to wait slightly longer, but it's going to be worth the wait, and we'll be treated to 30 minutes of some amazing action. If you haven't joined us this weekend so far, Wes was just talking you through some of the things that have happened, including Key Nakamura Berta not having the best weekend overall, being overtaken by Gomez yesterday in race 1, and then in race 2 it was lead maintained. It looked like it was going to be a nice domination drive, but that was all turned around, first by Gomez, at least he attempted to, and then it was done. A super move for Francot to take the lead and hit the front, and then K&B losing out to Gomez and losing out nearly to his teammate, but was able to maintain that third position. So some brilliant fighting going on between those drivers there, and there was fighting all the way throughout the field. Definitely the better of the two races that we have had across this weekend. But the main star of the show in the PHM car, Reno Francot, being able to drag it all the way to the top step. And Wes, well, he's only really arrived properly in our picture last week, and he's amazed us at every single opportunity so far.
Yeah, he's been performing absolute wonders, hasn't he, in the lone PHM racing in this field. And yeah, the drivers are constantly looking over their shoulder for that number 69 car. Starting a little bit further down for this race, down in 7th place. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how fast he can attack the drivers up in front. He's got Powell, Bondarev, Popov up in 4th. Great show from him. K&B, of course, Weldon on the front row again, and then Gomez up in that pole position.
It has not been the easiest race start so far for Sebastian Weldon. He will do all he can to maintain second place, or he will leave himself vulnerable to his teammate. And his teammate Key Nakamura about to starting in third. Huge opportunity today for Maximilian Popov. He's had a good weekend so far, and it's not always been the case in Italian F4. So a great opportunity for Maximilian Popov, Wes, and he knows he has to try and get a good result. E4 Championship, only 9 races. This is the third of them. You have to perform at every single opportunity there is.
You certainly do, yeah. And Popov is a very erratic driver at times. He can certainly take a fight to the other drivers when the time calls for it. But yeah, he can be a bit inconsistent. But yeah, as I said earlier, great performance to get that 4th place on the grid, and depending on the start he gets, he's got a real chance of scoring some big points here today.
He has indeed. Final cars are getting themselves into position. It's going to be a fascinating race with everyone lined up. It is Gabriel Gomez who starts on pole position. Sebastian Weldon is alongside. We've had Gomez win race 1. He did it from 3rd. And then in race 2, it was brilliant. It was absolute brilliance from Reno Francot, who's going to be able to take the win in race 3. Surprisingly, it's Italian F1. And we've not seen a Prema win so far this weekend. Is that about to change? Let's have 5 lights on. And we go racing in E4 with a good launch for Gabriel Gomez. And once again, Weldon has not got the start that he wanted. And he's under threat. And he's been overtaken by his teammate, Key Nakamura going through into turn 1. He's not the only one. Alexander Bondarev trying to get in there in the Prema car. Can they all get their way through the opening few corners? Smoke aplenty. Further back, it is Gomez leading the way. Then it's Key Nakamura moving up to second place as Bondarev and Popov wheel to wheel for a moment, though. It is still going to be neck and neck between those two drivers. Popov trying to get in there, and you also find yourself in the mix with Alex Powell, who's trying to get himself involved. Great start for Gomez, under no threat, and doesn't have a clue about the fighting behind.
Oh, it's so frustrating for Weldon. He must be so sick of drivers passing him in a straight line before we've even reached the first corner. Key Nakamura having one of his typically quick, powerful starts now. As we look in the background there, that's Powell on Bondarev, the rookie Williams Academy driver, trying to defend from the RSGP. As we see Reno Francot going across the chicane there, I don't think he gained any positions there. Front wing off in the background as well. We'll have to wait and see who that came off of. But yeah, chaos down at the chicane on the Mistral Straight.
I think the staller on the grid was Anurag is off the road in the background, so we're telling you about a possible stall for She. We'll confirm that later on. What we can tell you is Anurag finds himself going very slowly further back. Meanwhile, it is all action everywhere else. Alex Powell trying to attack Bondarev, and there we see Dante Vinci in the Van Amersfoort car. If you are synced up with us at the moment, trying to get himself involved in the mix, E4 has avoided a safety car so far this weekend, and they will hope to continue that trait. But it'll be interesting to see what is happening with Kabir Anurag. He was slow, according to our shot. Popov there, having Andrea Kostic diving to the inside of the final corner. Few cars having to go out wide as we come across the line to begin the next lap, the second lap of the race. And Key Nakamura, that is going to be a very close gap. A gap that really isn't even existent as we're wheel to wheel into turn 1. Round the outside goes Alex Powell, and I think he was able to take P4, Wes.
Yes, he was indeed. Yeah, Alex Powell now past Bondarev up into 4th position now. And in the background there, Popov and Kostic fighting, and Kostic has now got past the Van Amersfoort driver, so he is up into that 6th position. Popov, unfortunately, just losing places. He's down 3 spots from his original grid spot of 4th.
He is indeed. That is not what he wanted at all. As we go on to the Mistral Straight once again. And Anurag looking to now continue on. It'll be interesting to see what else happens for the Alpine Junior. Into the braking zone we go. Little bit more comfort this time for Gabriel Gomez. And I say that, and it's only a few tenths, but that is how much under pressure he has been so far in this race. Not being able to fire up those tyres at the moment, Gabriel Gomez. It is all action throughout the rest of the field. That is Salim Hanna versus the Van Amersfoort's car as well. And you've got Alexander Ruto involved in that battle. That is further back right now. 26 minutes and 24 seconds to go on the clock, plus a lap, of course. And it is the field, not separated by much right now. A few gaps starting to emerge. Weldon in P3, trying to stick with our top two. And then it's further back where we get to all of the racing.
Salim Hanna has had one of his now trademark meteoric starts. I think he started in all the way down in 27th place. He's up into 17th. How he's managed to make up so many places in such a short space of time is anybody's guess. I would love to see that onboard footage.
Well, if they have it, it would be absolutely remarkable. Into the final corner we go, and you've got Popov trying to assess and see whether there's a chance to make an overtake as we come across the line. 4 tenths between first and second place, and KNB is really close, as Alex Powell is the one setting the pace. He's got the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Popov darting out of the slipstream, having a look, and I believe Al Salati possibly with a trip to the pit lane, or at least he's had a moment somewhere on the circuit. Might be into the pit lane for him as we make our way through, and it is the field right now. Everyone inside 1 second of each other. That's how close it is, all the way down to 25th.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rena Frankot actually hasn't made more progress. He's actually lost a position from where he started in 7th now. It's Popov's fallen down, as we said, obviously. Andrej Kostic doing extremely well up in 6th place. Bondarev now 5th. So, yeah, considering how quick he's been all weekend, it's a little surprising to see Frankot still down in 5th position. And he's not exactly hounding the back of Popov either. So, if anything, he's looking in the mirrors back at Enya Frey. So, yeah, hopefully he can get back to regular ways later in the race.
Yeah, we make our way through, and it's getting really frenetic out there at the moment.
Oh, is that Emily Cotty?
It is.
I think.
It is.
Yeah,
Emily
it's
Cotty.
Emily Cotty.
That is such a disappointment. She started the weekend so well, Wes. It was a great result to start off the weekend with race 1, and it is all going to fade away as we watch her teammate Guy Albag battling there, and that is with Bart Harrison as well momentarily at the moment. But that's so disappointing for Emily Cotty.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, she had an absolutely brilliant qualifying session. Started race 1 all the way up in 13th, and managed to maintain that position in the race as well. And it's but it just that was where the weekend peaked for her, unfortunately. So yeah, hopefully she can come back stronger in the remaining events of not only E4 but Italian F4 as well.
Yep. You have Italian F4. That'll be quite interesting. In 2 weeks' time, that championship. Of course, a bit of a double header technically, because a lot of these drivers have come over from Mugello last time out. And the yellow flags momentarily flying in that part of the circuit. As we continue to roar on by, as I've mentioned, E4 have not had a safety car this weekend. They've managed to avoid that. And we come onto the straight, but they are having to wave those yellows as they try to recover it under green flags. So, it is close. It is close between our top 3 at the moment. Weldon now starting to gain time on our top 2. So, it's getting really tight across our top 3. Alex Powell is in 4th. And then it's Bondarev in P5. That's the top 5 at the moment. Battling, continuing all throughout the field. But it's once again that type of race where it's like what we saw earlier. Everyone's building up, and then later on, in a few minutes' time, it could all explode all the way till the checkered flag.
Yeah, it seems that it's either the first or the second half of the race that is a bit of a procession, and then the other half is it all just explodes. So, yeah, hopefully we can we can just sort of grin and bear this bit while the tires are still fresh, and then depending on who's managed to protect their tires better, we might start seeing some moves at around about the halfway point in this race, with probably about 15 minutes or so to go.
Yeah. Oh, that is Andrea
Move!
Kostic. My word. On Bondarev, that was late on the brakes and then some. I thought they were going to connect to the apex there. So many times we've seen drivers be so close into that corner. And Andrea Kostic trying to go for the latest of late moves. And he's got an opportunity into turn 1. But it's going to wait. It's going to wait in behind. And that was Kostic versus Alexander Bondarev. That is P5 and P6. And Kostic, who's gained 5 places, wanted to make it 6 at that moment.
Yeah, he pulled a very similar move actually on Popov. I suspect he was trying to recreate that to no avail this time around. But he's looking extremely racy, and Bondarev, despite having a good qualifying, seems to be going backwards a little bit in this race.
He is indeed onto the Mistral straight. Couldn't get by on the last lap. Could it be on this lap? We have 20 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock remaining, plus a lap of course. And is Kostic gonna get close enough? Remember, it's not always down towards the North Chicane, but he wants to make it into the North Chicane. Sells the dummy, late on the brakes, makes the corner just about, and that was so late once more. He sold the dummy down there, as I mentioned, and now this battle will go down to us seen in a few moments' time. Bondarev has got a chance to try and fight this one back. It's gonna be neck and neck between the two of them, but Kostic has got that position, and after a move like that, he was never gonna let the Prema driver go back on by, and Popov now will be the one trying to attack all the way around the outside. We mentioned how Popov can be aggressive at times. He will try and be so as he tries to make this move, but can't do it at the moment. Some great fighting here in Italian F4.
Yeah, and behind them it's Enya Frey being hounded there by hounding, I should say, Frankart in the back, who unfortunately hasn't, as we said, got the speed that he seemed to show in the first 2 races of this weekend. Frey going very, very wide indeed now, and has been passed by Ari Bansal, who's doing great things in this race. He's currently got the fastest lap of the race, and he just seems to be getting better and better, now up into 9th place.
Wow. Well, this race now starting to deliver the goods. It's closing up out in front. Pal's trying to get himself into the mix and make it a 4-car train. But that was superb on the last lap by Kostic. Oh, he is really, really being impressive on the brakes there. The way he could sell the dummy. And I was going to say, well, if you can't get through into the North Chicane, you can keep it. You can try to set the move up. No setting it up for him. He just went late on the brakes. Got it slowed down just about. And that was remarkable stuff. Now, we are back on the Moonstar Straight to see whether anyone else can deliver anything that is just as good. And who else can deliver us with some of the overtakes as well, as the sun begins to come out and the sun begins to set as well to some degree as we get closer and closer to the end of this day. And Weldon looking close to his teammate, but nothing doing there. So the two Premas close together. But let's hope it's not that type of race, Wes, where we had it in race 1, where the top 3 just sit there for the entire race, and that's how the race ends. Let's hope there is a bit of overtaking and a bit of battling to come between the drivers. And talking about battling, Weldon is right onto the back of his teammate. Could it be an overtaking chance, I wonder, into the 3rd sector, because he's so close to the back. He's basically pushing the red and white Prema through. They might be in different liveries, but they both drive for Prema Racing, and they both make their way through. And Weldon now looking to be the driver on the attack.
Yeah, this is a bit of a carbon copy of what we saw in race 1 yesterday. I suspect Weldon's sick of the sight of that red and white Prema of Nakamura Berta. We saw towards the end of race 1, he was just stuck behind at around about half a second and just was never at any point close enough to make a move. He's definitely close enough now, but is he going to be able to get just that little bit closer to be able to do it on the brakes, either into here in turn 1, which he isn't close enough to do, unfortunately, or down the Mistral straight into that chicane?
In race 2, we had a fantastic battle that came our way between Gomez, Francot, and of course Key Nakamura Berta. What happened in that occasion was Gomez, who was the second car in the train, attacked Key Nakamura Berta, who was the leader, and Gomez's momentum got affected, and Francot said thank you very much and took second place. Weldon's going to hope to basically be the Francot in this situation, where he sees a bit of drama ahead, he capitalizes, and then he makes the move himself on Gabriel Gomez. But it all depends on the pace he has. He's not been good when it's come to race starts so far, but he wants to amend that. He wants to change that. He wants to get a good result by the end of this race. Does Sebastian Weldon. He wants to make sure that he can get to the win, and it would mean so much for him. Key Nakamura Berta hasn't been able to win either this weekend, but as we mentioned, E4, it might be going some way. It might be going one way in Italian F4, it can go completely different in E4. And meanwhile, talking about that, just like that, you've got Rino Francot under pressure from Ari Bansal. So Francot, who's looked like one of the drivers with all the momentum, coming under a bit of threat, and Ari Bansal trying to go on the attack as well down towards Scene Corner. Not the only one. Bart Harrison losing a place, and up goes Shi, who stalled, we believe, earlier on, and he's really recovering well, all the way to 16th position at the moment. Meanwhile, it's wheel to wheel as we make our way through, and it is getting really, really tight as the drivers begin to get aggressive, and that is Maximilian Popov, who is going to be seeing Francot go all the way around the outside and take the position. So that's a switch between those two drivers, and it's been so quick in that battle, where one moment Francot was defending, now he's attacking.
Yeah, Francot is sadly lost a lot of ground, and there goes Ennio Frey. Now, back on Harry Bansal to retake that position. Frey was a bit miffed to be taken by Bansal a couple of laps ago with a very opportunist move, and he has returned that in kind now. So Frey back up into 9th, Bansal down to 10th.
He is indeed. Wow. Great fighting at the final corner once again. It's been getting tight and tight and tight further back, but now Key Nakamura Berta with the fastest lap of the race, hoping for the best lap of this race to come his way if he is able to get by on Gabriel Gomez, who will definitely not go down without a fight. Let's look to see whether anyone else can make some overtakes, but your order now from 7th is Francot, then Popov, then Frey, and then it's Ari Bansal. So Bansal and Francot, who were together, now find themselves with two cars in between. That is how that all changed in the 3rd sector here in France. And we arrived down to the North Chicane, top 3, top 4, all in formation, and that applies to most of the drivers until you get to some of the battling really further back outside the top 10.
Yeah, and you can really see how much the top 10 are slowing each other down now, because Luca Vizarino has the Romanian driver has joined the back now. He's currently sitting in 11th, but can most certainly smell out possible points from this race. And yeah, if the top 10 can delay themselves a bit more, then Vizarino can capitalize on that for sure.
That's the aim for him. 13 minutes, 15 seconds, plus 1 lap to go here in the Italian F4 Championship in 2025. It has been some event, and it is time to end it off in style. And I wonder, are we going to end it off in style with a great battle between our top three, the top 3, who are our top 3 as well when it comes to Italian F4, the championship standings. So it is a perfect group of drivers who will entertain us, who will deliver us with some action. That is, if they can get close enough. But where sometimes it's a situation where they're all so much equally matched that it's basically nothing to separate them. So the Dirty Air is not allowing Weldon or K&B to make the move just because of how equally matched they are. They need to have a bit of a pace advantage as well to make up for some of the Dirty Air.
Yeah, and they've all got similar levels of downforce as well. So trying to catch up to each other on the straights with the power of the slipstream has very limited use as well. So yeah, it can happen sometimes, and it becomes a battle of whoever makes the fewest mistakes ends up being the one who defends their position. But that's how it goes in racing sometimes. And we're seeing a bit of a replay from race one, as I said earlier, with Weldon being close, but just not close enough. Nakamura Berta going slightly wide into that chicane, actually, but Weldon just not close enough to be able to capitalize.
Does that change? Can he find the moment? He's so close to the back. Does he try something extraordinary? Does he risk it? As meanwhile, that's exactly what Franco is thinking about. Weldon's now super close. He's nearly darting out behind the rear wing of his teammate there to get up the inside. But you have to really, really be close if you are to go for a move like that. And Weldon just waiting, biding his time. But eventually the opportunities will run out. Franco, as I mentioned, is chasing down Bondarev at the moment. So that's a move that he is trying to make further back as well. That is for P6 and P7. And they've got Popov, Frey and Bansel for company at the moment as well.
Yeah, Bondarev did have quite a big gap actually to Frankot, and Frankot has reeled him in, or Bondarev's just perhaps with a lack of experience, just not able to protect the tires in the same way as the drivers around him, which of course can happen. We're only halfway through the year, and Bondarev is fresh out of karting, so he's still learning his way. So Frankot looking for a way past. Bondarev has no slipstream or anything in front of him because Kostic is 2.1 seconds. So Bondarev looking.
He is indeed. We are about to welcome our top three back down to the Mistral Straight. But it's going to be Franco, I think, who everyone will be keeping an eye on from this point onwards. Also, Ari Banser looks like he wants to go for it up against an AFA. Surely there'll be some form of move that comes our way. So, if we look at the front, it'll be KNB defending perfectly from Weldon. But further back, defending there will be an AFA. Attacking will be Ari Bansel, who, of course, is such a talented driver. We've seen him in British F4. We've seen him when it comes to GB4 as well. And now here in Italian F4, getting the better traction up against an AFA, and that'll be a battle that will come towards our camera down there into Scene Corner in a few moments' time. And it's going to be neck and neck, wheel to wheel. Ari Bansel will have to go all the way around the outside, and he'll have to keep his foot in if he is to get there, and he does get there. Tidy stuff there from Ari Bansel. Now he has to defend it, because Anea Frey is of course going to fight this one, and he won't be able to hang it out all the way around the outside. What about the switchback? What about better traction off the corner? Bansel still having to defend this. He may have gained the place. Now he needs to try his best to keep it, and it looks like he'll be able to do so in the third sector.
And for the third time in this race, then, Enya Frey and Ari Bansel have swapped positions for 9th and 10th. So, but that, of course, by no means means that they will be keeping it that way around. I'm sure Frey, given an opportunity, will be right back at him.
Yep. That will be a never-ending story, and that's what we love. Okay, Frankot cannot overtake Bondarev, and that's now brought Maximilian Popov into play. So that's another train that is developed here in our final race of E4 this weekend. And it will be getting closer and closer and closer between Keen Nakamura Berta and Sebastian Weldon, because now the gap is 1 second between themselves and Gabriel Gomez. So that gap begins to extend. And that means no tow for KNB to use, or less of a tow for KNB to use, which could bring Weldon into play. We'll keep you updated with that one as well. It all depends on the tyres from this point onwards. Who's been able to keep them intact? Who's been able to use them to their advantage? This one will go all the way till the end, and we hope it does so. And it would be a perfect way to wrap up racing here in France. Looking further back, Francot there arriving into the braking zone with a lockup. But he is still doing his absolute best to wrestle that PHM past the Prema.
Yeah, bumping over the curbs was Francot. He's definitely going to feel that in his spine. He needs to Careful though, because here comes Popov. He wasn't quite able to get alongside him through Scene Corner, but he is right on the tail of that PHM car and will be looking for a way to pass. Not quite able to get alongside though, unfortunately. Another lockup, or is that just I think that was dust actually. But yeah, Frankot needs to be able to keep his sights on the car in front, that being the Ukrainian driver Bondarev. He's back up in the slipstream now. No way through along here, though, as they go into the final corner. Is he going to have a look? No, Bondarev sees that one coming and defends accordingly.
Yeah, he does. And now Frankot's going to get a chance down towards turn 1, though. He's going to get a chance, surely, when we look back at those two drivers. And yeah, he kind of parked it in the middle there, did Bondarev, and that's exactly what you kind of need to do in a situation like that. And we're taking a look at the drivers ahead, but Bondarev did maintain that position on Frankot. He was side by side heading into turn 1, but he was just able to stay ahead.
Yeah, he was, but Frankot's going to come back at him now, but he still needs to defend from Popov, who's looking for a way round. Oh, and Bondarev's run wide now, and this is going to let the three of them past.
Off goes Frankot.
Somehow they maintain it, and Frankot goes off.
Yeah, so Frankot finds himself off the road, and Maximilian Popov's going to go on the attack. Here we go. Mistral Straight is about to go absolutely wild in a few moments' time with these three drivers battling. They're still somehow in the same order. That could be about to change, because here comes our race winner from race 2 earlier on, and we could be about to go 3 wide, because Frankot basically pushes Bondarev to the side, and it opens the door for Popov. So Popov is going to brake earlier. They're still in the same order. Popov trying to get the switch back. This is wild stuff between these two drivers, and now welcome into play as well. Ari Bansel and Anea Frey, they are in the mix. And who's going to arrive ahead into Scene Corner? Bondarev still is ahead. Frankot having to defend from Popov. He moves over to the middle of the road, and now Frankot sends it around the outside there. It's going to be wheel to wheel between these two drivers, and he's going to drive all the way around the outside. Superb stuff from Reno Frankot, able to take the position, and now Popov finds himself the next one trying to attack Bondarev as he sends it up the inside.
And Enya Frey and Ari Bansel are having their battle as well. And Frey, they make contact. Frey and Bansel bash wheels. And somehow Frey is back up in front of Bansel up into 9th place. But Frankot, oh my goodness, that's getting so close. Popov and Bondarev there nearly making contact. Largely, it's been quite clean. Popov goes up the inside corner. Bondarev off the track. And he's going to lose several positions now.
Yeah, here we go. Down towards turn 1 again. Frankot is ahead. Then it is Bondarev. And now Popov having to defend, because here comes Ari Bansel around the outside. Late on the brakes into turn 1. Bansel's going to be late on the brakes. Popov is nearly overtaking there. He's nearly overtaking the car of Bondarev. That was so late on the brakes. It looked like it was going to be Bansel's charging around the outside. It wasn't the case. And now Popov wants the attack. This is lap after lap stuff now. This is corner after corner. Bansel wheel to wheel with Anea Frey as well momentarily. These two have not been separated by anything. They still aren't separated by anything. Meanwhile, down the inside goes Popov, and out wide, kind of scared out wide, is going to be Bondarev, and Bondarev will lose that position, and moving up is going to be Popov. Then it is going to be Bondarev, and then it's Ari Bansel and Anea Frey, and we've got Visciano there to try and capitalize on them all, and it's about to continue down the Mistral Straight when they get down to the North Chicane. Could they be about to go 3 wide into the braking zone? Popov maintaining the inside line. He'll try to be late on the brakes. Bondarev is going to go in there as well, and it's going to be Popov ahead of Bondarev, and then trying to get to the inside is Bansel. This is ludicrous stuff, as now we're about to go back to Scene Corner.
This is almost go-kart racing. They're so close together now. Here comes Bondarev again, trying to get that position back. Popov is going to defend. He's on the inside line. Look at Bondarev. He's going right around the outside into Scene Corner now. Fantastic stuff. And he's got a nose in front.
Yeah.
Popov, yes, Bondarev does it. Fantastic. And Enya Frey now trying to go up the inside. They make contact with Popov. Oh my goodness, how these cars are still pointing in the right direction, all with their front wings still intact, is amazing. And Ari Bansel now gets past Popov. The loser of this was Popov, who runs a little bit wide off the track. But yeah, so from originally fourth position, remember he started in fourth position, did Popov, and he's now down sadly into 10th place.
Oh,
My goodness!
Popov!
Oh,
He's been hit, and Popov is going to be tagged round. It was always going to happen with how close it was. And also, at the same time, we find ourselves off with Andrea Rodriguez. Double. Well, that's a double moment for Van Amersfoort. You've got Popov off, and then you've got Rodriguez off as well.
And I think Popov might have suspension damage there because he's slowing down. That's such a shame. He was running very close to the front earlier on in this race, and he's now sadly been tagged by Vizarinu, who now finds himself in 10th position, but will likely be seeing the stewards at the end of this race.
Oh, my messages are going crazy. To yellow flag turn 15, yellow flag turn 5, yellow flag turn 14. It's all come, it's all happened here in once. It is 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. They've let it run in Italian F4 quite a bit, even with incidents on the circuit. I don't know what they're going to do in this situation now as well, as we continue the outrageous battling. Well, we were previewing a battle at the front, but that's been forgotten with everything that's happening over here. Bondarev just ahead of Frey for the moment. Bondarev, though, goes in deep. Frey tries to get the better traction, and meanwhile you've also got Ari Bansal there to capitalize as well. So Bansal versus Frey will continue in a few moments, as we are about to go down towards Scene Corner. It's going to be side by side between those two drivers, and around the outside into the braking zone. Bansal sending it all the way around the outside. That's a super move from Bansal, who's going to take that position, and now Frey will try fight back. Let's take a look at a replay of the big contact that was made for Vicianu, who's going to hit Popov, who had some airtime. He got thrown round, and he found himself going off the road. Oh, that would be disappointment there. And wow, what a race it's been. It's all exploded near the end. As we momentarily lose Wes, we've got him back now as well. Wow, that was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we're on to another lap of this race, and down into turn 1, and Gomez and Key Nakamura. We go back to this battle now between these two drivers.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to get resynced up, Omi, unfortunately. But yeah, what a crazy last few laps of this race. It's been absolutely explosive. Probably not one that Van Amersfoort as a team are gonna want to remember. But yeah, it's very, very exciting for motorsport viewers.
Oh, it's been exciting. The car is still there in the background of Rodriguez. The number 16 into the wall at that moment. And they will make their way through. And KNB, for so long in this race, he's been trying his absolute best to go on the attack. But it's going to be Gomez once again. But yeah, the safety car, well, I think we're going to have a safety car free weekend in E4. Even though the racing's been absolutely ridiculous, we're going to have a safety car free weekend. It's not a phrase that we usually do say Wes in this championship.
Yeah, I know, especially for this race. I'm very, very surprised the safety car didn't come out, but I suspect it's because we're so close to the end here that they're going to try and cover it under waved yellow flags, which, you know, kind of makes sense in a way. And this is the last racing action of the day here at Paul Ricard, so want to kind of end it on a high note if we can.
Yep, absolutely, and we absolutely do want to end it on a high note indeed, as we bring it right to the end of this lap. And it's been an absolutely fantastic race as well, as we find ourselves coming across the line. We're on to the last lap of the contest. Gabriel Gomez on the penultimate lap, setting the fastest lap of the race. He has been pushing on and then some, and it means he can take this last lap a bit more comfortably than possibly we have seen across other rounds as well. And it's going to be Kei Nakamura in second place, Sebastian Weldon in third, Alex Powell in fourth, and Andrea Kostic in P5. But now it's only going to be a mistake now, Wes, that will deny Gomez. Think we've lost Wes for a moment. as well.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you for a second there, Romy.
Well, luckily all is good now, as well. We're on the last lap of the race. Everyone's just wrapping this one up, and it's only going to be a mistake now for Gomez that will cost him. What a performance it's been, though. It's about to be 2 out of the 3 race wins this weekend for Gabriel Gomez, Wes.
Yeah, he can certainly romp to victory and control the race when he's up at the front. And he's aggressive when he needs to be as well. And Nakamura Berta there is very, very consistent as well. He's managed to see off what little challenge there was from Sebastian Weldon, who's now fallen to nearly 2 seconds behind Nakamura Berta. Not quite sure what happened to him there, but yeah. So I think Weldon needs to work on his ability to get close to the cars in front. So he's been up there. I would say close, but not close enough has been the mantra of Sebastian Weldon thus far this weekend.
Well, Gabriel Gomez has shown us that he can win from 3rd on the grid, and now he's going to show us that he can do a pole position to checkered flag moment as well. Here we go. Gabriel Gomez comes across the line to win in France. He takes 2 out of the 3 wins this weekend. Key Nakamura Berta in 2nd place. Of course, they're racing all the way till the end, and of course, it's this group which will see Bansel, and it's going to be side by side to the line as well. Bansel getting the squeeze from Anea Frey, who's going to get there between these 2 drivers. That was ludicrous stuff. Of course, it's those 2 as well, and it is Frey who's ahead of Bansel. Of course, it was those 2 to deliver us with a drag race to the line. It was Weldon in 3rd, Powell in 4th, Kostic in 5th, Francot in 6th, then Bondarev, then it was Frey, Bansel, and Ricciardo. Well, that was absolutely ridiculous stuff across the mid-pack. Gomez knows nothing about it. He's our race winner.
17 hundredths of a second it was across the line. Anea Frey taking it just about from Ari Bansel. I've lost count of the amount of times they swapped positions in this race, and Frey just about managed to protect that position over the line.
What a battle! What a incredible race! That was just pure E4 and Italian F4 style racing. That was remarkable stuff, which completes quite the weekend here in France. And Gomez, though, what a brilliant performance from him. Okay, let's run you through our race results. Gomez ended as the winner, and then it was the premiers of Key Nakamura Berta and Sebastian Weldon in P3. Alex Powell was in 4th, and then it was Andrea Kostic, the driver, in P5. In P6 it was Francot, then it was Bondarev and Frey with a drag race to the line between those 2. Bansel in 9th, Ricciardo was in 10th, and then it was Ruta, Savinkov, Guy Albag and Teo Schropp. And that was some Italian F4 race. But yeah, ridiculous gaps with Frey and Bansel. Of course it was, as I mentioned, it was of course Bondarev, Frey and Bansel the one. The drivers all delivering the action, and specifically Frey and Bansel as well. Camille in 16th, Harrison in 17th, and then it was Vesco, Bennett, Panzeri, who recovered all the way from last up to 20th. Then it was Anurag, and then Vinci, Busso, El Salati, Popov retired along with Michelini, Rodriguez and Emily Cotti. And those were all of your retirements as we round out a weekend with absolutely no safety cars in this championship, which is unheard of stuff. 3 pure 30-minute races which have had incidents, which have had chaos. It's had crazy battling, but somehow not the introduction of the safety car at all. Freca had it once earlier on. They had the safety car and then turned into the red flag, but nothing, absolutely nothing for E4. But those are the type of weekends we kind of want, Wes, where, you know, we've had we've had a little bit of chaos as well, but we've not had any safety cars. We've had chaos, we've had some great racing, and yeah, just a perfect E4 weekend, and not even a Prema win, which is not a phrase that we can often say when we leave a weekend which has 3 or 4 races.
I know it's mad as well, considering that it's we've had the driver that's dominating in Italian F4 not taking any of the wins. I mean, he's still up there certainly. We can never rule out Key Nakamura Berta, but yeah, just not being able to get it done in any of the races is something he'll probably be thinking about. But yeah, absolutely brilliant that the last few minutes of that race. I'll probably be watching that back again later on today, so I enjoyed that immensely.
Yeah, and you'll get to enjoy it with Ian Salvestrian as well when you watch that one back. But yeah, certainly me and you absolutely had fun and enjoyed that one. That was just wild. Absolutely incredible racing. That is what we love about Italian F4 when it gets decided like that. And when you thought everything was done, when you see the checkered flag moment for Gomez, and then all of a sudden we cut to a drag race, I think that just sums up this weekend and how close and how competitive it has been. And E4 started off in style. We've been treated to a kind of a double header with Italian F4 last week, E4 this week, and now we hand it back over to the big ones with F1, F2, F3, and also the Porsche Mobile One Supercar. That'll be at Spa in terms of all of the support series there. So that's going to be a very good weekend at Spa. But at the same time, Wes, the weather forecast I think looks a little bit interesting for Spa.
As it always does,
yeah.
and as it always should.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, so had a couple of wet meetings already in the F1 world
Wow.
this year. Hopefully, we don't see another 2021 though. That's I don't think even now we still haven't recovered from that as racing fans.
Yeah. And also that we've not got any E4 or anything else to cure us up in case that does happen in a week's time as well. We've not got any of that. But yeah, okay, right. Let's look back at some of those highlights from this race. That was remarkable all the way since the start. Some great racing, some great battling, some great switchbacks, and most of all battles that continued lap after lap. The midfield though, definitely the stars of the show. And as we now look back at some of those overtakes, down at the final corner, down at every single part of the circuit, I think is the best way to describe it.
I would have had an entertaining time just watching Frey and Bansel in this race, to be honest. They by themselves were providing a lot of the action, but yeah, even then we had Bondarev putting up a great defense against multiple drivers, and then you have to feel for poor Max Popov there, just getting taken out after starting this race in 4th position and coming away with it empty-handed. But yeah, great race for Gomez. Thoroughly deserved victory. I would actually say my driver of the day probably would be Andrea Kostic. He gained a number of positions from his start, and really was just never really challenged in the race, to be honest. So yeah, Kostic would be my driver of the day.
A fair pick. Other than your faultless driver in P1, it has been some great performances further back, including Kostic, as you mentioned, just really got on with it, made the overtakes when he needed to, and sometimes that is basically all you need to do as well. And it is going to be now time for the national anthem for the boy from Brazil.
Please, photo.
So it is going to be it's been quite the round, and it's going to be quite the season. As we mentioned, only 9 races for the E4 Championship, whereas Mugello and Monza await. We've already been there, especially Monza. I'm happy that's the finale because Oh, that is going to be the good finale. That is going to be the remarkable finale that we're going to have. I cannot wait to see how that one is going to unfold. We have Mugello before that. And as I mentioned earlier on today, we're going to have, I think, 4 finales across GB3, FRECA, Italian F4 and E4 in 3 weeks. So those are going to be quite the amazing 3 weeks. And luckily, none of them have any major clashes because F1 is going to be taking place in the evening for everyone in the UK. And it will be normal times for Wes as well. Because, of course, of it being on the US times. So, yeah. Right, okay, perfect stuff. That wraps up E4 then. Wes, I'd love to get your final thoughts from this race weekend. Looking ahead to next round of E4 and also Italian F4 as well.
It's pretty typical, really, from drivers of this age range. They're ever the opportunists and always looking to capitalize, and we're all the luckier as motorsport fans for having seen it. So a couple of disappointing, I thought, drives from largely from Sebastian Weldon, just not able to get close. He stared at the back of Kei Nakamura Berta's rear wing for pretty much the whole weekend and just couldn't do anything about it. So hopefully we see some improvement from him over the course of the rest of the year at this level. But yeah, some great drives, and my 2 heroes of the day being Enea Frey and Ari Bansal. Absolutely amazing drives from them.
Yep, remarkable drives indeed. Well, that brings everything to a close from the E4 Championship. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring you the opening round of the season. I say thank you to Wes, I say thank you to Joshua Birch as well for providing all of the resources for this broadcast. And the final thank you goes to the drivers and everyone on site as well, which has made this event of E4 possible. Next up is going to be Mugello, and that is going to be interesting. But we have F1, F2, F3, and the Porsche Super Cup, all of that action as well to keep you occupied in a week's time, and then we're back with some Italian F4 action along with GB3, along with FRECA. So there's a lot coming still on JB Motorsports 2, of course shared with some MotoGP practice sessions as well. So it's been a pleasure to bring you this round, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.